So obviously you're remembered for that great Spirit Squad run in 2006. How do you remember being pitched that role?
We were in Louisville, Kentucky, OVW, and I believe Raw or SmackDown was in Cincinnati, and they said, we want a group of you guys to drive up and you have a meeting. And it was myself, Johnny Jeter, Elijah Burke, Nick Mitchell, and Nick Nemeth, Ziggler there. And we went up and we met with Vince in his office, and he just said, I have an idea. He said, it's going to work. He said, I want male cheerleaders. And I thought he was joking at first, and I was like looking around, and I was like, is this a joke? And he was like, all right, get out of my office, make it work. And we're like, okay. So then we just left. All right, let's leave. Let's go get some outfits or something. So then we came back. They brought us back maybe 3 weeks later. And then actually what happened was Elijah, he couldn't do it. He just said, I can't do it. And I respect him for that because
I was about to ask you about that. He had told me about that.
Yeah, he knew it was going to take. It was going to take some obnoxiousness and and if he didn't think he could do it, that's fine. Because if he goes out there and tries and it doesn't work, well, then that could be his job. That could be our jobs. You know what I mean? So more respect to him. He stood his ground and he knew what he could do when he could do it, and that's good for him. But then they opened up the role for Mike Mondo, and Mike Mondo, he was always Mondo's always, it's a tough situation with that boy because he's small, but he's got the heart of Big Show. You know what I mean? The guy, yeah. He can work with anybody. He could outwork anybody. He's probably one of the best in the business, and he just never gets his due. You know what I mean? And I think WWE was looking at it as, well, why do we hire him? He's there at OVW, so I don't need to hire him if he's paying to go. That makes no sense. But it opened up a spot for him, and he took it, and he took the ball and ran with it, and then next thing you know, the squad came out and about. And there were weeks, too, where they said, we might not do the Spirit Squad idea anymore. Vince isn't sure about it. And we didn't know. You never know at that point. And we all were like, this is our chance out of Louisville. This is our chance to actually make a mark. And maybe it's one of these gimmicks that doesn't work, but maybe it's one of these gimmicks that gets remembered for a long time. So we went to Vince's office and we sat there. And we were like, when he comes in, we're just going to blow the air horn and do a cheer. That's what we're going to do. And we were all set and sold on it. And then John Laurinaitis came in and was like, what do you guys do? And he's like, why are you in here? And we're like, we're looking for Vince. We're waiting on Vince. We're going to do a cheer. He's like, he's in the production meeting. He's like, follow me. I'll show you. Okay. So then we're like, okay, this is real. Johnny Ace is now telling us, you want to do it? Here, go do it in front of everybody in the production meeting. So we just bust open the door and did the cheer. And then Vince looked up, smiled, and he said, you'll be on Raw next week. And we were like, all right, everybody out, get out. Before he changes his mind.
That has to be a giant confidence booster.
Oh, God, yeah, it was crazy. And I think we, hid the rest of the night because we didn't want him to just see us and be like, wait, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
If they can never find you and tell you no, then it's still a yes, right? I guess that's
Chris Jericho tells those stories that, depending on how hungry Vince McMahon is, he might change his mind about something.
Yeah, I read something about that. So, his food was actually in there. And I think Mondo may have took a lobster tail or something like that. I don't remember exactly. So if Vincent was ever wondering why he was missing a lobster tail in Charlotte, North Carolina, it was probably, I think Mondo took it.
Had he known that, it might have cost you your jobs.
Yeah, totally. We wouldn't have had as long a run.
So do you know if there was any rhyme or reason behind picking the people that were in there? Because it was a very wide array. You had someone really young in you. You had a guy with amateur wrestling experience in Dolph Ziggler who had been on TV before but pulled off. Johnny Jeter, who I know was one of Chris Canyon's favorites out of OVW. He was very highly touted. Nick Mitchell from Tough Enough. And then Mike Mondo, who was a little smaller than everybody, but I think that added to the group, having him and seeing the size contrast there. Do you know if there was any rhyme or reason there?
I don't know the rhyme or reason. The one thing that I do know, or the two things that I do know, is one, Nick Mitchell was chosen because they realized this kid has no idea about wrestling. He doesn't know the history of wrestling. He tried out because he wanted to win $1 million contract. I get it. Anybody would do so. And he's just really, really entertaining. So he fit the gimmick to a T. I think the gimmick may have been built around him. Just
he's the butt scoot, right?
Yeah. He's so obnoxious. And it was just you couldn't help but laugh at him. And then myself and Mondo, eventually, Vince, we were chosen because we were the tag team that would wrestle on TV and pay-per-views. We were the pay-per-view and tag team champions. And on the house shows, the other guys could get more experience. Not that they weren't as good, but I guess in Vince's mind, that's what he wanted.